You know, back in the day, I was just so blindly patriotic, and I'm patriotic in the, I guess, common sense of the word, where I never questioned my government. I always thought we were the greatest, and, you know, one of my insults to other people is, what are you, a communist? I would use that all the time. In fact, I remember being at Woodstock 99 and just being like, I love this country, I love America, you know, America's #1, we're the best, and blah, 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 we're the greatest country in the world. And when I was younger, with all the JFK worship that was going around, I remember my sixth grade teacher, Mrs. Duffy. She was a big JFK fan, loved him. And I always thought to myself, well, if he was so great, why did he get iced? You know, why did he get killed? He must have done something wrong to the country. He must have, you know, made it unsafe for this country. I had no idea that this man, at the end of his career, because he did, you know, serve the elite, you know, rather thoroughly in the beginning. I mean, Joe Kennedy, his father, no saint. Trust me, the Kennedys, no saints. And did some dirty things. But when he did start standing up for the people, when he did start speaking out against secret societies, when he started speaking out against the Federal Reserve banking system, then that was too much. They had to kill this guy, and they killed his brother. They shot his brother right in the back of the head as well. And it wasn't until, you know, I really woke up to these kind of facts that I started seeing the bigger picture. And I think that the last caller is correct. You know, JFK was probably our last president. All right, we're going to go to calls on the other side, but I have so much news. I've got to hit some more news up. Senator hears a science lesson on climate. The independent Senator Steve Fielding was accompanied by 4 scientists to his meeting with the federal government as it tried to find a last-minute strategy to gain support for its emissions trading scheme. Before the meeting, Senator Fielding said he had an open mind about the link between human activity and global warming. Global warming, quite clearly, over the last decade, hasn't been actually occurring, he said. Correct. The senator then added, I also believe there is climate change. Also correct. Just not man-made global warming. Remember, they changed the terminology. They changed the cause. It was chlorofluorocarbons when I was a kid. It was COCs. Oh, don't spray any hairspray. How dare you? You're killing the ozone layer. And now they've changed it to carbon dioxide. Give me a break. So, you know, he's openly saying this doesn't exist, and he had some scientists with him, apparently, that backed up his position. And I, again, encourage people, let me say it again, I highly encourage you to go check out The Great Global Warming Swindle, probably the best thing that the BBC has ever done. And it really lays out what this agenda is about, who is behind it, and it's got some of the leading scientists to speak out against it. It's even got the co-founder of Greenpeace in it. Go see it. It's on the YouTube. It's on the Google. The Great Global Warming Swindle. Now, earlier, I talked about Schwarzenegger terminates school textbooks. There it is right there. It's out of Sky News. This should be a big deal. California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is planning to phase out textbooks in schools and use internet text instead. Now, on the surface, that seems like a great plan. That would save, I mean, when you're at a school, you're paying $45 a book at least, especially for those big textbooks, and then you got 50 students in a classroom. That does add up. The problem is, if they pass the Cybersecurity Act or the Cyberbullying Act and they digitize all media, they will heavily censor what you're able to get off the internet. And it will literally be like the book burnings of the 40s and 50s, because we won't have libraries anymore. They'll be a thing of the past. You won't have a hard copy of almost anything. And even if you do have a hard copy and you upload it to the internet, it'll be contraband or, miscreant information or, propaganda or harmful, and it won't be posted. It won't be accessible to the average citizen. So him trying to phase out textbooks is literally the beginning of rewriting history. It's something out of 1984 where they actually do book burnings on a massive level and information control. And I think that that's what this is about. I mean, if you stop the textbooks, and some of those textbooks are indoctrination centers anyway, you stop those, you really do hit a slippery slope. Looks good on the surface, probably not so good overall. We'll be back after these messages. It's the Infowarrior. You know, I just have so many stories today. I've covered this stack right here. Now I have 2 other stacks right here that I'm hoping to cover in this final hour while taking your calls. We've got, I believe, who was our last guy? I think we went to Eric in Illinois. We're on Chris, Ronald, Glenn, Mike, and Ryan, and we're going to hit those up after this segment. British Army launch Start Thinking Soldier live events. Talk about the technocracy. Here it is. Throughout the summer, the British Army is holding a series of live interactive events which will allow the public to put their Army skills to the test as never before. See, they want to see who's out in the public, who's good enough to be a soldier, who they can recruit to this next level of military force. Showcased around the country, these live experiences comprise of state-of-the-art 3D virtual technology and manned by real soldiers will bring to life Start Thinking Soldier, a groundbreaking initiative launched by the Army in April, which first gave the public a chance to gain personal insight by participation in a series of online missions. Oh, the events will provide a unique opportunity for individuals to receive valuable personal insights as they are guided through 5 virtual challenges requiring key Army proficiencies, including physical fitness, mental agility, problem solving, observation, leadership, team building, and decision making. Performance will be logged via RFID wristbands, and attendees will receive a debrief post at the completion of the tasks from Army personnel, giving them valuable feedback on their performance. This is a recruiting tool. It's also a way to acclimate the public to how great the military is. And it's also another way to bring in RFID technology. RFIDs are everywhere. In fact, I want to hit up these other small RFID stories here. Have an RFID chip and a smile. Coca-Cola is running out a self-service beverage dispenser, freestyle, that can mix as many as 100 different drinks from 30 flavor cartridges. Here's where it gets interesting. The machines come equipped with a radio frequency identification chip that will collect data on customers' drinking habits and send the information back to Coke's headquarters to help drive new product development. So using Coca-Cola, using the RFID technology. This one's out of RFID Journal. We touched upon it earlier in the show. Dairy Queen serves up personal discounts with RFID. A Dairy Queen restaurant in Indianapolis region is providing its customers with RFID-enabled loyalty stickers that attach to their phones, thus enabling them to redeem coupons sent to those handsets via a text message. If the system is successful, Dairy Queen intends to expand it to additional restaurants in the region as well as nationwide. You can bet this will go nationwide. The system, provided by marketing applications service provider Tetherball, is an expansion of a system Dairy Queen has already been using for 20 months. To send discount coupons for several Indianapolis restaurants to the customers' cell phones. International Dairy Queen Inc., headquartered in Minneapolis, serves more than 5,600 independently owned and operated Dairy Queen stores in the United States, Canada, and other countries. With the RFID enhancement, says Jamie Guse, International Dairy Queen website manager in charge of all digital applications, the restaurant can track the success rates of specific promotions as well as which regions and times of day are the best targets for their promotions and additions. You don't think you're going to be tracked, traced, and databased? You don't think so, huh? We already know everything you do on the internet and your cell phone is tracked, traced, and databased due to AT&T versus Hepting and the retroactive immunity that was just held up about 11 days ago. 11 days ago in appellate court, they basically said the government is God and the telecommunications company must help God spy on you. Well, now you're going to be spied on from Dairy Queen and Coca-Cola. And like I said, this is already in place with the Advantage card over at Price Chopper and the likes of that. So we are really entering this grid that is literally from morning, noon to night, every day, every evening, seeing what you do and how you act. Is that what you want? You want Big Brother over your shoulder all the time? You're going to get it. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas, back after this.